kind of a bit more negative than I thought it might be. Uh-oh, broadcast was ending. Back. Can you hear me? How many fingers am I holding? Okay. 4 fingers. All right. 12. All right. Let me refresh my monitor here. There we go. CB best county. Good try, buddy. um, but yeah, I'm not sure where it dropped out, but essentially where I was at was I wasn't able to buy any Sting retirement match merch because it was all sold out, which was a bummer. But it wasn't meant to be. And then just comparing and contrasting the fact that like the vibe in the audience, like in the AEW audience, was really different from the vibe of the WWE audience when I went to Elimination Chamber. And it was a lot. It was a bit more hostile and a bit more negative. And it was kind of like, is this a fan base thing? Is this a North Carolina wrestling thing? Like there's one guy sat directly behind me, him and his kid, and I swear this man has never been happy a day in his life. Just sitting there, non-stop complaints out of his mouth about everything going on, but then also claiming to be like the world's biggest wrestling fan. It's like, but you're not. All you do is bitch. Why are you here? But that came to a head though in pretty spectacular fashion because there's that dude and then his kid and then this other kid sat next to his kid. Well, one of the matches that night was the women's title match with Toni Storm, and the kid that was sat next to that guy's kid, Toni Storm. He made it very clear that Toni Storm is his favorite wrestler, and this other kid. Oh my god! Like you can be excited, you can cheer, you can yell things out, but when you never stop and you just yell the same things 5 to 6 times and just screech them at the top of your lungs too. Like I was kind of like, I put a finger in this ear because how loud that guy was, and then the guy behind me that was otherwise bitch the whole time. Finally, like, and I'm thinking to myself, why do you bitch about that? Get him to shut up. Well, he does. And he basically says this kid like, hey, can you cool it just a little bit? Like, you're being really loud, hurting my kid's ear. Just tone it down a bit. It was, a very reasonable ask. And this kid who's been shouting himself delirious, pledging his love for Toni Storm, flies off the fucking handle. Like, immediately turns and just starts hurling insults and things at this other guy, and it just becomes this back and forth, and then it's like, oh, this better not turn into a fist fight. And then the loud kid decides that he has been wronged. He has been wronged by being told to quiet down. He's been so wronged that he's going to get security to throw the other guy out. So kid gets up and leaves, and it's kind of like, and he missed the whole rest of the match. the entire rest of the match trying to find a security person. The entire rest of the match of his favorite wrestler. Like, so he finally does bring security person back, and they have to do a back and forth of like, this is what he said, this is what he said, and it's like, oh my god. So then they're like, okay, like whatever, we'll move this kid away, like, just, you know, we'll move him somewhere else. Kid refused to move. Refused to give up. They even said like, we'll move you down there, we'll move you closer. And he refused, absolutely refused to leave his team. So the guy was never happy, and his kid, they got closer instead. On the plus side, after all that went down and everything, the loud kid didn't really make any more noise. He left 5 minutes into Sting's retirement match. Whatever. But I mean, it was a solid event, and again, I was not expecting it to be as long as it was. But in there for that Sting's last match, that was packaged that so well. But they had some really unnecessary spots, like he swanton off the ladder through the glass and chairs. That was excessive. But yeah, it was great. And Sting also, his sons went under ringside when they were different versions of Sting from the past. One of his sons was dressed as Surfer Sting, and the other one was dressed as Wolfpack Sting. And they got to do some spots in the ring too, because it was a tornado match, so everyone was in the ring at once. How quickly he bled was insane in that sugar glass. I don't think that was sugar glass. I think those were sheets of tempered glass. Because the very first sheet, Sting broke with the bat, and he hit it the first time, it didn't break, and he had to hit it again. But when he hit it the first time, you hear the thunk, because it was supposed to break, but it didn't, and that was a tempered glass thunk. Because I've worked with sugar glass, and it doesn't thunk like that. So I think that was just like safety glass, actual glass. But haven't heard that about AEW crowds. I heard mostly positive things about AEW crowds. And it may have just been like the cheap seats I was in. That they were just, I was seated in the miserable fuck section. That could have been it. But like, you know, the chants and everything from all around the arena, that was all positive and that was all fine. So I may have just had a bad sample batch. But and probably just, you know, Mr. Negative behind me just pumping so much negative energy out. Like, it was a ridiculous amount of negative energy. And I was just like, dude, why the fuck are you here if you're so unhappy with what you're seeing? I don't know. Shit. He dragged off like Cavalier. That would have been cool, but no. Which was more hostile. AEW. WWE, that was. But then also, like, my sample set for the WWE audience is skewed as well because that was in Montreal. And so it was the whole different attitude in a different country, especially one like Montreal. But there was nothing but positivity there, and like being in Montreal for Sami Zayn's big moment, that was awesome. But I saw that coming. How quickly he bled was insane. Okay. I'm just trying to keep caught up with chat. But yeah, the match was great. Their spots were great. The coolest thing though, so like the match starts. Well, pre-match, you know, they bring out Ric Flair. Knew they were going to do it. That was awesome. But then they bring out Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, And when I first made a post about going to see this match and talking about how back when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, um, and when I used to lay on the floor in my grandpa's den while he would watch wrestling, and um, how Surfer Sting and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, they were my favorite wrestlers. So seeing Ricky Steamboat come out, that was cool. For me, that was so cool. Two of that out there, that was just amazing. Um, and then Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat both bump. They take a hit. You know, for the bad guys. And I knew that Flair was going to take a bump because he had to end whatever way he could make some of the match. Yeah. You see Lex Luger in the crowd. I did not, but I section where like Sting's people were, that's where he was. I couldn't really see that section, but I heard people talking like, oh yeah, like Luger's over there, and so. Am I stream info wrong? I was expecting Flair to get more involved than what he did. I did too, but I think what they I think they knew that if they gave him more of an inch, he would have taken a mile. But they gave him that they gave him that fake betrayal moment the week prior, so to get that out of his system. They're still here, so it's fine even when it's sloppy. Okay, good to know. Dropping frames, I think it's just on the corner of the building, so why is perfect. I appreciated that it didn't get more video. Yeah, me too. But yeah, that was great. Uh, uh, One of the things I posted on Instagram is how right directly in front of me, which was like immediately stage left, was one of those suspiciously out of place tables. They put some random thing on, so it would go. That table looks like it has a purpose. With a couple of coils of wire and like 12 or 13 bottles of water. Bottles of water that nobody touched. And it's like, that's kind of a suspicious looking table. And then right down in front of me, about a third of the way into the event, a cameraman comes and sets up. And from that spot where he's set up, perfect the perfect shot of that table, but also a nice aerial shot of the ring. So I'm like, it's got to be a table spot, and it was. Darby Allin got put through that table. On the other side of the arena, the other side of the stage, on Sting got put through that table. I kind of wish it was the other way around. So could have, been up close to the one Sting got put through, but that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, it was great. And then after the event went off the air, Sting came, took the mic and had his thanks and everything, and allowed his sons. Mentioned Wolfpack. Then we have Wolfpack Sting. He's hey, we're off the air. I can say that. But then people came out. And it was really nice. It was a nice moment. It was a nice long goodbye for him, and the whole room came out, and like everybody left except for Sting. Sting, walked every barricade that he could to high five anybody who could get that close. I wanted a high five. Before finally making his last exit. So by then it was late. Much later than I had wanted. It was well after midnight at that point. and then it took quite a bit longer to get out of the parking lot and then back to my hotel. I think I got back around 1:30, and lest we forget that just a few hours prior, I had decided that I was going to fly to Puerto Rico the next day. So that would entail getting maybe maximum of like 4 hours of sleep and getting up at 5:30, being out the door on the way back to Raleigh no more than like 5:45, and that's exactly how it worked out. I pulled in the parking lot at 5:45 and back to Raleigh on like 3 hours of sleep. It took forever to fall asleep after that. You still get all the energy going. So, um, drive back was fairly uneventful. I got behind this truck for one part though that was extremely unsafe. Um, it had this little. It was one of those double wheeled yeehaw redneck trucks, and it had an undersized trailer on the back for what he was trying to do, and it was just absolutely full of steel rigging and everything. And one of the tires on that trailer was smoking and sparking. So I got away from that or anything. FYI, I published the VOD for the same time last week where Eric was a guest star. Woo! It was around 1 a.m. Eastern when the pay-per-view stopped broadcasting. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think Flair was cleared to do more than what he did, plus what said been true. I don't think Flair would have upstaged Sting anything yet. Yeah. I think it can be difficult to discern and separate like Flair as a character and Flair as a person, because having such a long and storied career as his, you kind of like, oh well, he's gonna do this because he's Ric Flair, as opposed to like he's Rick there to support his friend Steve, you know. But anyway, I get back there. I stop on the way to gas the rental car back up, and I only used about 4 gallons of gas. I drove from the rental place to the hotel, to Coliseum, to the hotel, to the rental place. That's all the driving I did. So, click off 4 gallons. Apparently, though, that wasn't as full as they wanted it, and I got $17 charge added on insufficient fuel. Whatever. I don't care. The rental car was $97 for 2 days. I get it dropped off, shuttled back to the airport. Get through security. Everything's fine. Everything's hunky-dory. But this is the day where everything just kind of, yeah. Because of course I'm just talking about yesterday at this point, but in my mind it feels like I'm talking about last week. This first flight out was uneventful. I was there with plenty of time. I mean, all things considered, I probably could have gotten an extra like 30 to 45 minutes of sleep. But then again, the traffic would have been different, and yeah, whatever. So I had like a 90-minute wait for the flight out. Flight out was fine. Park flight was from Raleigh to Atlanta, and I had scheduled a 4-hour layover. So get to Atlanta, everything's fine. Been to Georgia once in my life. I was on a bus going to Florida, choir trip. Walked around the terminal for a really big terminal, really big airport. And then I see that within my terminal is an American Express Centurion Lounge, which apparently, like, last month, like they spent like years rebuilding it, and it just reopened last month. So, so I killed a little time until I was within the 3-hour entry window, and then I was like, okay, well, I can get into this thing. I've never gone into one of these airport lounges before, but I can, and it won't cost me anything, so I might as well. So I went in and had myself some free lunch and some free pain water, and then they had in there a glassed off terrace thing. You could go sit in a comfy chair, open air, looking out at the tarmac, so you could watch the planes and just get fresh air. So sat out there for a while. It was just like, so this is how the other people live. You know, there were all the food business travelers and all the other stuff. That was neat. And then it was getting to be about time to mosey over for my next flight. This is where stuff started getting real fun. Get back to the terminal. Just playing parts. They start calling us for boarding. You know, they do the people in wheelchairs and everything first. So they're being wheeled down, you know, towards the plane, and then other people are just, you know, waiting to be beckoned down next. And then all of a sudden they stop and the people are wheeled back in, and our plane is surrounded by fire trucks, and we are told that due to a mechanical issue, we will be delayed 30 minutes to an hour. So, and that 1 hour delay every hour kept being extended, and extended. Basically, from the best we could surmise, it was a fuel spill. They ended up saying, like, there's been a fuel spill, it has to be cleaned up where this plane can be flown. Okay. Apparently, all of the fuel, all of it, fell out of the plane onto the tarmac. Not just, like, all of it. The entire. So, it's 6 o'clock at this point. We were supposed to leave at 2, I think, if I remember correctly. And all of us that are there waiting, we all get emails from here saying, you know, apologize for these delays. Here's a meal voucher while we sort this out for you. Okay, well, that's kind of nice. Has to be used in 24 hours. Okay, that's kind of a dinger. But, okay. So I cat and use it in there. There's like a knockoff Chipotle plate in there, so I get a burrito bowl. $15 voucher. I spent like $15.70. Came back, ate that. I was like, okay, well, at least I've got the dinner thing solved. Not to worry about that. And then about an hour and a half after that, it was an hour and a half, I don't know, something like that. It was like within an hour or so. They come back on to, update us on what's going on. And the guy's like, and it's going to be another flight delay. And we're all like, oh, okay, well, here we go. There's like, this plane is being delayed until 7 a.m. tomorrow. What? Yeah. It's not going to fly at all. And all they told us we could do is you can exit the terminal, go back to the ticket place.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
I heard that. Oh yeah. Good thing the plane was in the air when that happened. That is true. That's true. So go back through security, and talk to someone there at, scheduling a flight or trying to arrange a hotel room or something to then be back there in the morning to fly out at 7 a.m. I'm just like, this is bullshit. I was supposed to be there at this point. I had zero. This room I already paid for, and what is this stuff? What did I do? Where did that? Is it because you're on a Mac? Maybe. But how did we trigger that thing from when Sleepy reads Okay. Okay. Well, where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, this room already, and part of why I got this as cheap as it was is I booked this hotel room for 2 nights at a non-refundable rate. So if I stayed in Atlanta, I would have basically, and went and got a room or something. I would have been paying for 2 hotel rooms in one night, one of which, yes. I was like, this is not going to happen. This is not going to, there's got to be another way out of here. So, one little tip and or trick to anybody out there who may be considering the Frontier Go Wild Pass, that is the reason I've been able to do all this the last few days for pennies on the dollar. A little tip to that is to see and book the Go Wild fairs. You cannot do it on your phone. You have to be on a regular browser. So, fortunately, I decided I almost did. I almost did not pack my laptop. Didn't want to have to worry about it, but I brought it, and I'm glad I did. So as soon as the gate agent stopped talking, and I had like a 10 to 15-second thing of like, I am not staying here tonight. I am not staying here tonight. My laptop out. Jump back on the Frontier page, being like, is there anything else? Any other way I can get there? Turns out there was. There was. And it was and it was urgent. It was now or never, and I had to fucking go. So it was about, again, my time, the times. I'm not off about the times or anything. But so boarded in approximately 23 minutes from where I was sitting there with my laptop was a flight from Atlanta to Tampa, and then from Tampa to San Juan. Ultimately landing in San Juan around 3 a.m. So I was like, whatever, get me through tonight. I'll figure everything else out. But I mean, I didn't know how many of these people in this same situation were gonna do the same thing as me. So like, I jumped on there. I found this flight. There was room on it, so I booked my ticket. Paid another $53, something like that. Man, for something booked 20 minutes before it flies, to be able to get it for $50, just because you have to pay the taxes and fees. Um, it was like $570 if I didn't have the pass. So there you go. Um, put my computer away, grab my bag, and hoof it because it was in another terminal. And um, yeah, 20 minutes boarding. Fortunately, I was in Terminal E. I was going to Terminal D. So I'm fortunate it wasn't like Terminal A or B, which according to like because it'd be signed overhead how long it would take to get there. Okay, doesn't like a palm. Oh, that did something. Did it? Oh, it was just exposure because I was covering the lights. Anyway, I'm distracted here. So I get there. I get over to this other terminal. About 10 minutes, and it's about 10 minutes before we board. And I'm like, and I keep like, this is so last minute and everything. And I keep looking at my boarding pass, like, this is. I hope this is good. But yeah, no problems. Got on that plane, and just fucking wild. Got to Tampa. I had no idea I was going to be going to Florida on this trip. So landed in Tampa, and it was I don't even know what time it was at this point, but it was like I mean, I've been in a bunch of terminals in the last, you know, half a week. This one felt just super chaotic, just absolute chaos energy. Getting off the jet bridge into the terminal, it's immediately like there's way too much going on. There's the entire perimeter is nothing steep, which again isn't necessarily unheard of, but like it's a lot of seats, and there's a lot of people. And then in the middle of the room was Starbucks, and almost almost directly coming out of the jet bridge itself was the duty free liquor store, just like front and center, like you need this, and and it was also the brightest, like almost painful bright in terms of lighting. All the other terminals I've been in this week, and it was just like so. Found where my plane was going to be if it showed up. So I'm in Tampa at this point. It's like 11 o'clock or midnight. I don't even know. Or is it like 9 or 10? I don't know. It's late. It's late. and I'm waiting on basically a red eye flight coming in from Dallas because we have to take this plane that's coming in from Dallas and then take that to Puerto Rico. So I sit down, I charge up all my batteries and my phones and everything again, charge my headphones again. And mind, it's like 11 at this point, and I've been traveling since 5:15, 5:45. Sorry, other side of the clock. 5:45 a.m. from leaving my hotel in North Carolina and getting a rental car. I've been traveling, but it lands, and um, because of how everything with the testing worked out for this last flight, um, stretch from Tampa, San Juan, saw me in seat 1A, the very first seat in the plane. So we're thinking like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. It's one of their they charge premium for those seats. I guess that's what two fingers does. What about three? Three, it's a magic number. No, I guess not. Oh, here we go. Let's confuse it. I don't know what's doing this, but it's fun. Um, and truth be told, I don't. Yeah, I think I had a worse experience in this more expensive seat for a couple of different reasons. Unlike their cheap seat, which again like Frontier is is gunning for the loosest definition of a seat you can possibly get. That's not just a sheet of fiberglass with um, a cover, but the cheap seats are really small, um, really small, and I don't know, really small armrests, and they're compressed in such a way that I don't know, different. But the one they charge more for have unadjustable, big chungus armrests. And this one at the front, especially, is one. It had a tray table built into the arm, so like it had these two big arms on it. So I ended up having less left to right space. Um, being in the very front, there was no seat in front of me. But when I'm in the cheap seats, I can I can finagle my legs under the seat in front of me around my bags so I can stretch my legs out pretty good. But being in that front row, I there was just a wall there. I did not have that option, so I could not like my knees weren't touching like they are in the other ones, but I couldn't stretch my legs out all the way. So I wasn't able to stretch out, and I was like, well, it's a 3 hour flight. I try to sleep if I can. So to top it all off, that one seat is probably the worst one to be in if you think you're going to try to get any sleep because you have a straight shot right into the galley where there's a broadcast light that they leave on so that the flight attendants can do their job. And that was just right in my eye. It's a bright fluorescent light. So I may have got a couple of minutes here and there through the course of the flight, but yeah, no sleep happened, and I just could not in that get comfortable at all. So, at least now I know it is not worth it to be in one of those more expensive seats on a Frontier flight. I can wedge myself comfortably into the cheaper seats and have a better experience. So there. You've been to Cigar City and Busch Gardens in Tampa. Sounds about right. Orlando's kind of the same way. Yeah, even I like to stretch my legs out like that, and I'm only 5'4". Oh yeah, Anya, I am in San Juan, and I did use sunscreen, but you can't tell by looking at me. Uh, um, 3 hour flight, pretty uneventful flight. Tried my best to sleep, couldn't. But we land. We finally freaking touch down. Oh my god. It's yeah. Just the fact that and then like it's San Juan is a 24-hour airport, and I kind of wasn't expecting it. Like coming in at 3 a.m., I was like, it's gonna be a ghost town. I don't know. I don't know how the fuck I'm even gonna get to my hotel, but it's a 24-hour airport. The terminal was packed with people coming and going. So, got outside, went to the zone, ride sharing zone, got an Uber in 5 minutes, and was then at my hotel in like 7. I'm going to sign off. I can only hear about every other word. Oh, I'm sorry. I wish you the best getting home. I got online friends in Puerto Rico, so if you need to reach out, maybe. All right, well, thank you, Anya. Oh, yeah, our volume is a little low, isn't it? Well, you can turn that up a little bit. But good night, Anya. Oh, will this do anything? Hearts, hooks, and loves. What am I going to do when I get on my regular computer? I don't have these fun toys. Super. I turn you up, but I also, oh, I love it. Chopping something out. Yeah, we're doing our best. We're making it. Oh, super low for the volume. Okay. Yeah. Also, my yeah, mic using is way back here, so we got a ways. Uh, but I got here, and I got to my hotel, and they were super cool about the late check-in. Wasn't a problem at all. So like 3:30 in the morning, I'm finally back here. Having been traveling since 5:45 the previous day. This morning that I arrived. So got into bed, got a real comfortable bed here. And despite all that exhaustion, all that everything, still took a while to finally fall asleep. Later, Anya. Oh, and Anya, there's not going to be a stream on Friday. I will be home by then, but I'm going to see Silver Sun Pickups in concert Friday. So, stream, have a concert. We'll be back week from today, next Tuesday, regularly scheduled everything for a little Tuesday. I'll let you know if I need anything, but as I'm getting to here, we're brought up the present, our story and everything. My return is already in order, so should be much more straightforward. I should be okay. If I need, I'll reach out. Thank you. Oh, wow! Enjoy. I will. It'll be my 3rd time seeing Silver Sun Pickups. I think so. Yeah, they put on a great show. But okay, so I get into bed. It's 3:30, and I'm like, I'm here. If I had stayed, I would have. If I hadn't have done this, I would have still been in Atlanta for a flight that was 3.5 hours away, to then have to fly for another 4.5 hours to get here. So even if I had taken that 7 a.m. and it left at 7 a.m. like it was supposed to, it's like a 4.5 hour flight from Atlanta. So it'd be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus an hour time change. Also, for those that don't know, here in Puerto Rico, we're an hour ahead. So we're an hour ahead of Eastern. So for me, it's 10:49 right now. Fun fact. Yeah, it would have been like noon day. I'd taken another flight, so I would have forfeited the entire $150 night for this room and everything, and it would have been shit. And I would have had like 24 hours here. So so yeah, I managed to you know salvage as much of that as possible, and I really owe it to have because I there's no way I could have done it otherwise. So I feel really fortunate in that regard, and that's also kind of leaning me towards like renewing it for another year. It's not super convenient, and now I know that I kind of have at least based on my experience the last couple of days, I have like a um, coin flip odds of something going wrong. But on the other hand, like the the sense of adventure and everything that I've had just doing this and making it happen and stuff just working out has been a lot of fun. So, and the fact and just this rescheduled flight that got me here from Atlanta practically by itself paid for the value of that pass. So yeah, I'm leaning really heavily towards renewing it, and then maybe not as aggressively using it as I have this couple of days, but knowing what is possible with it and trying to go more places and more things because I can. So, in times of yeah, that's it. It's the Atlantic time zone. I'm very proud of you. Thank you. Or are you out of HP? Well, we're out of HP. Do you just I think if I let it auto renew, I think I get $100 discount, so I get it for $4.99 instead of $5.99. So I'm kind of inclined to just do it, just with how everything's been. Um, but yeah, and things could have been easier. They really could have. There are more direct ways, even just to come back to Puerto Rico. There are direct ways I can get here. They have daily direct flights out of Hartford, and they've started or are starting, I think, next month, daily direct flights out of Boston as well. So after so many years, finally coming back here, and then this afternoon, just sitting on the beach, just everything is like, why did I let it take me so long to get back here? Because ultimately it wasn't that expensive, and it's hasn't been all that expensive to stay here compared to what I've paid to stay in some other places closer to home. And with the past being able to get here for I think that direct flight to Hartford with taxes and fees is $37, and that's direct. So you wouldn't have to deal with connecting to a different state to this direct. And just the fact there's so many other places I can go. The fact I could also apply to Central America if I want to. I don't know if I want to ride Frontier all the way to Costa Rica, but I could. I mean, knowing what I know now, the what traveling on the planes is like. But I digress. I'm getting on a tangent here. So, yeah. Seawater. Um, yeah, I ended up around 3:30, and in the previous night, I had only gotten around 3 hours of sleep. So, I had to sort of weigh how much sleep I was willing to get because I didn't want to sleep away my time in Puerto Rico. Would be the point of that. So, I set an alarm for 10:30, 10:30, I believe. So it took a while to fall asleep. Yeah, I got something like 6 hours of sleep. Um, and then I tried to let myself snooze once, but then I didn't want to fall back asleep and miss the day. So I got up and opened my window and got that first like I can look out this window and there's the fucking ocean. How wild is that? Um, so I was like, okay. Since I was not planning on coming to Puerto Rico, I was not prepared for beach. So I walked down the street. I just went to Walgreens and fortunately, they were prepared for the unprepared tourist. So I was able to buy a really obnoxious looking set of flip flops and sunscreen, um, and some some ibuprofen because your boy's feet hurt after all this walking and hustling through airports and everything. Love these. Would wear. No notes. Oh yeah, I'm putting them in my bag. I'm taking them home. I kind of, in the back of my mind, hoping I'd be able to find another pair of Captain Puerto Rico shorts. Wasn't fortunate. Wasn't able to do it this time. I'll have to do that next time. So I did that, and I picked up a different version of this Ceylon energy drink, which is huge here. There's in terms of the energy drink section in the stores that you've been into, there is it's like an entire cooler's worth reserved for this brand. And then in your other one, there's a section for Monster and the other stuff. So I guess this is made by Red Bull. It says, oh, it's manufactured in Austria. And then it says something about limited partnership and product of Puerto Rico or something like that. But it doesn't mention Red Bull on the can. So I don't know. But I've got this one. This is the passion fruit flavor, so I'm gonna drink this one tomorrow morning before I head on back to the airport. So yeah, so there we go. Today was my one day in Puerto Rico. So tomorrow I'm coming home. This is my roundabout way of getting back from North Carolina. That thing seems like that was weeks ago at this point. That was really the crown jewel of this trip, was going to see State Matt. But this second half of this trip has been just as wild and crazy. When are you going back? Tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going home. Don't drink that. But I'm gonna actually wait. Yeah, this is the other one that I got. Just basic low carb. Guess I'll have to figure out which one of these I'm gonna like. Can't take it through. Well, maybe I'm drinking 2 drinks in the morning. Is that a luxurious amount? Or not quite? Cyclone International was founded in '96. The product is developed and manufactured in Austria, Europe, where it's produced. Currently sold in 12 countries in the Caribbean, Central, South America, US, and Europe. Huh. Well, Red Bull's made in Austria, so that kind of is what makes me wonder. Yeah, just one of those itches in your nose. Just 4 drinks officially luxurious. 3 drinks make the grade. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go wild energy drinks. But yeah, today was, with the past few days, like I am moving, and today being such a drastic exception, just being still. So I came back from picking up drinks, my sunscreen, and everything. Read the directions on the sunscreen, applied it thoroughly. Said to wait 15 minutes, so waited 15 minutes. And during that 15 minutes, Meta had their big outage. So I immediately, like, my IT brain kind of goes into a panic and it's like, shit. I've been on public Wi-Fi's the last couple of days. I've been careful about, stuff, but I haven't been running a VPN or anything. Did somebody hack my Meta profile? Fortunately, it was just a huge mass outage, so you. But again, I'm sort of like, oh god. And the fact was like of course, this would be the time that I get hacked because everybody knows that I'm in Puerto Rico. So it maybe is one of those instances where, like someone hacks my account. I was like, I'm in this other foreign country. I need to get home. Well, people know I'm traveling right now, so that would be much more believable. Like, yeah. Fortunately, that wasn't the case. So, offline, I'll give you a free, very secure VPN if you like. Well, I have one built in. I have one built into my phone that is the Google One VPN. I've been using my other SIM. I've been using my Mint Mobile SIM for data because it's cheaper than the data on Fi. So, but in the event I do switch back, I run the Google One VPN because it won't let you run it if you're using a different SIM. Oh, it's a different company from Red Bull. Okay, well, we learned. Rainbow, give us a rainbow. Dang, JoCR. VPN is direct. Oh, like literally like your own VPN. Okay, that's cool. With the days. Well, I'll consider that. I'll consider that. You need a beta tester to roll out CP VPN. Today's video is brought to you by CP VPN. But yeah, so I got back, did the sunscreen, and went the 15 steps down onto the beach. And for the first like 45 minutes, I literally just I sat in the sand and just like looked out at the ocean and was just kind of like, yeah. And I drank my other one of these while I was at it, but it was just like I'm here, and I was just like just sort of savoring the the most absolute present I could possibly be, just like to exist and vibe in that moment, and it was nice. It was nice. After 45 minutes or so, um, I'm a little apprehensive about actually getting in the water. Also, the beach where I am is a dangerous beach. Dangerous in the sense that there are a lot of people that drown here because there's uh, an advertised a violent rip current. So, all part of sitting and watching was seeing everybody else in the water. So, but I mean, general consensus seems to be it's fine if you're smart about it and don't go more than like waist deep. So I was like, well, I'm here. I'm not gonna not. So went out into the water. Um, Massive waves here too, which is the reason the rip current's so strong. Massive waves, and it's fucking fun. It's literally like being in a wave pool that's turned all the way up, except it's the ocean. It was just like exhausting as well. You know, wave, rip, and then it's like, fuck, that's strong. You can feel it. Like, if my feet weren't touching the ground right now, I can see how I would easily get pulled to sea. Like, I can see how this is really not a safe place, especially like with so many places you just walk up and get a drink on this beach. Like, yeah, if I'm here to swim, I'm really not gonna drink a whole lot. You know, you gotta be aware of your surroundings, where you are, and everything. Because, but it was fun. I had an absolute blast, jumping in the waves and everything, getting kicked around by them, and then went back out, chilled on the beach a little while longer while I, you know, evaporated. And then it was about 2 o'clock at that point. I didn't eat. Well, my breakfast was this, and it was a little past lunchtime. And the last thing I had really eaten was that knockoff Chipotle bowl that Frontier bought me the night before. Um, oh, yeah. Before I missed that part. So after I booked my the Tampa route flight and everything, whatever, I'm gonna book this, I'll deal with everything else later. I then get an email from Frontier, another voucher email from Frontier, but this time it's for flight credits. So they say it's $75 in flight credits, for all that. So that was like $90. It was like 75 for that for the credits, $15 meal credits. So that's $90. And for that flight that cost me that first flight that cost me $50 to book, and then this other flight that was like 50 something dollars to book. So all told, I was able to make it to Puerto Rico for $10. No swim up bar, not here, not here. I was talking to someone at work, and she was telling me, and no one really swims in that part because of the rip currents. Yeah, I mean, people wade and they jump in the waves, but like if you're coming here expecting like, oh, I'm gonna go out and go for a swim, you're not doing that here. You're just not. But for what it is, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. The beach is beautiful. The view is beautiful. Just the fact the waves are so big, like just the sound of them and just seeing waves, constant big waves, super nice. Drank the rock stars. I hope they were as tasty as you remembered. I did. On my that 77-mile drive back to return my rental car, and it was just the thing I needed to start on that wild 22 and a half hour day. Um, I'll also volunteer to test CPT's VPN when it becomes available. Not a public service. Yes. So yeah, I did that, and then it was around 2 o'clock. I'm starting to get a bit peckish. Honestly, I wasn't. I was just like with the sun and the sand and the water and everything. I was feeling absolutely content. But I'm like, I probably should eat something, especially since I needed to take some ibuprofen for my sore feet, and shouldn't do that on an empty stomach. So, but there's a attached restaurant to the hotel I'm in. It's like you can walk up to the bar, get drinks, and go back on the beach, or you can sit at the bar and get drinks and food, everything. So ponied up the bar, ordered some food. I ordered pork croquettes, um, which were just absolutely unreal. And then I had a short rib burger with fries, and it was just like, oh, so good, good short rib. Um, and I had a couple of Don Q's right there on the beach. Really gonna go nuts with it, but I had two. I had two drinks. Felt like one of those instances where I should probably have more than one, but I'm not gonna do more than two. And then, and then the bartender didn't charge me for them, so that was cool as well. And I even like he's like, it's kind of that when a bartender's like this one's for you, it's that sort of thing. And I was like, so I there was like I think tab the food and everything was like $40 some. So I was like, oh shit, I was expecting to spend more than this on this meal anyway. So I tipped him $25 for that. So Parking fee free decor. Yes, indeed. I tipped him $25. So a bonus if you're already expensive as a ticket. Oh, the ticket wasn't even expensive. That's the thing because of the flight path and everything. So, but with this whole couple of days and everything, I mean, I'm gonna sit down and go through the numbers and see what a like a pie chart sort of thing, so we can see like what was the flight cost, hotel cost, all the incidentals and everything, and see what on this cost the most. But I already know like the biggest cost in this whole thing was just the hotels, because the none of the flights were more. They were all less than $60. That first one, Boston to Philly, that was less than $60. I mean, I think that was 25. That was 25 from Boston Philly rally. That was $25. And then the others were that were supposed to end in Puerto Rico were 50. Um, the Marriott in Raleigh was not cheap, but that's if I'm staying at a chain place, I do prefer Marriott just because of the stats I have. Um, just no matter how much you spend with that flight pass. That's the big thing, especially that last minute, 20-minute departing. The regular price of that was $560 if I have to pay that out of pocket. With half flight pass, it ends up being pay about 10% the price. So because it's really just like sales tax and whatever government fees they have to charge on a flight. That's the only thing you're paying for, plus 1 penny. Because they have to charge you something for it. So Frontier charged 1 penny for it, and all the rest are taxes and fees. So, but just those, and then when I had picked that original one, Atlanta to Puerto Rico, that was pretty much the same, like 500 and something dollars if I was to pay it outright. So, so just yesterday, absolutely the flight pass paid for itself. Hanover like paid for itself twice. So, and just and it can be a little, you think you're getting a lesser value on something, because to get the most out of it, you have to book within a 24-hour window of when you fly. But and it kind of makes you think like, oh, that just means I'm getting on standby. But you're getting an actual ticket, you're getting an actual guaranteed seat. You can add on anything else you want to it if you want carry-ons or anything like that. And that's how they make money on this. Is they're like, okay, well, we're going to give you the flight to entice you to spend money on the extras that actually make the airline money. Because there's no way they're making money just on the flight itself. It's the egregious baggage fees and everything else along the way. It's that whole mindset of the flight is free, so I might as well check the bag and heck, I'll go ahead and I'll pick my own seat too. And they price on every single seat. So like some are like $11, or you can spend like $20 for the whole seat, and so it's an easy way to get you to spend money you wouldn't have otherwise spent, because you think you're getting the ticket for free, but they're still getting paid. You see, and the way I'm doing this is, kind of, I'm not exactly the customer they want, because I traveled with a bag that's well within personal item size, so they can't charge me for a carry-on. Letting them give me a seat instead of picking one, and every other add-on along the way. $5 for an onboard can of Diet Coke, no thank you. And with that being said, just paying the taxes and fees, I'm able to just get on a plane and go. it's been a lot of fun the last few days. Take advantage of services rocks. Last night I found out that the state forest slash parks pass I got from Tenter is probably void because before my end date because they've gone bankrupt. Oh man, it's like the way I treat credit cards. It gives me 2 to 6% back and pay things off every month, so I don't get charged any interest. That's yeah, that's what I've done too, um, to make to make having an Amex Platinum card worth it because that's a fucking $600 annual fee on it, but you can get a lot back otherwise. So like, um, having clear and I can also get TSA pre-check, which I just haven't done. Um, they'll pay for that every year, and just those two things are almost $400. And then, um, and then they pay for my Disney Plus and my Hulu um, and my Walmart Plus, which pays for my Paramount Plus. So I'm getting around about value out of it, and now get into the Centurion Lounge in the airport and everything. Uh, but yeah, if you can be smart, as Caleb Hammer says, if you are a credit card person, it makes a lot of sense. They don't like me being responsible. Uh, yeah, it's been crazy with travel too. I'm just like everything's going on that one card, so I'm gonna easily be able to figure out what all this costs at the end. And then also, if I want, I can turn around and just pay for some of these hotels with reward points or something like that, and then not even have to worry about it. But yeah, this has basically been my trip. It feels like it's been weeks. It really is. And I am so behind on my sleep, but it's been an absolute blast at the same time. And this is one of those things like, you know, I feel like this is the sort of traveling one should do, when we're college age. It's what I would have liked to do at that point. But of course, at that point in time, I had no money. I had no money. So, but put it now. Ah, sleep. Ah, sleep. That's where I'm a Viking. And, but yeah, I'll sleep tonight, and I'll be home tomorrow, unfortunately. So, but yeah, so that's how this how that's um yeah. So the last couple things I did, I had that awesome meal, and um then I came back to my room and vigorously reapplied my sunscreen and went back out to the beach. It was like 3 o'clock at that point, 3:30. So I was out there for probably another hour. Sat for 20-25 minutes. Went back in the water. This time for a longer amount of time. I was probably jumping in the waves for a good half hour or so.
One.
Mare
Yeah, the booty just
Bear!
did one bit. Swiggity swooty.
Swiggity swooty, we're coming for that booty. Nice to see you, Mare Bear. You have to go back to work Thursday, or do you have the whole week off? It's open ended. My boss told me, as long as I'm back by Monday, like that's sort of the week I needed on Monday. Bootyful. Um, but I'm thinking I'm gonna save. I'm in the air about Thursday. Whether I want Thursday to be able to like recover and whatnot. I'm definitely going to be working on Friday. Um, just because I don't want to burn the day. But also, today was actually a holiday, so I would have had today off anyway. As in Vermont, the first Tuesday of the year is town meeting day, and that is a state holiday where you're supposed to, you know, that's where you do your local politics. And whoops, I was a couple thousand miles away, so I kind of missed that. But I got paid for today, and it doesn't come out of my vacation time. So that also means this whole trip and everything I've done the last 5 days, it's only cost me 2 vacation days. Ah! So, which is wild. 2 vacation days and a paid holiday to do all this. So that means I still have like 2 weeks of vacation time. So that means I can turn around and do something else. Direct flight, just come on back to Puerto Rico. A few more days if I want. I don't know how easy it is. That's the thing. Once you've done it, you see how easy it is. It is a bit of a thing to not know any of the dominant language. Most people will speak English with you, but like, it's, it's yeah, I don't know Spanish in any way, shape, or form really. I voted for the guy from the Young Turks. I just take the whole week off, then that kind of flexibility. I mean, I could, and it depends on how I feel when I get home. Um, but to know that like if I go to work, that means I would have the day to put back towards something like this. So I'm just trying to trip that. I don't know. Um, we'll see. I may Thursday off, I may not. I may get home and my body may be like that was a lot. We're gonna crash, and if that if that's so, that's yeah. Spent a little more time on the beach. Um, got in the water some more. Pretty well thoroughly exhausted myself there. It's still freaking fun. Waves are so big, and then on the beach a little while longer until the sun behind the hot rise, and I was in shadow, and I was like, okay, each day is done. So came back up here. Um, actually took a nap. I contemplated just going to bed at that point, but I'm like, no, it's got to stream from a different time zone. Got to stream from Puerto Rico, and I thought about like doing a cell phone stream, maybe walking down to the beach, but you wouldn't have been able to see anything. So, biggest question: are you near a church's chicken? I'm not, unfortunately. I did check, so gonna have to put that on the agenda for my triumphal return. But I will absolutely be coming back and flying direct. Getting here wasn't just half the battle, it was 95% of the battle dealing with those other airports. But direct flight from either Boston or Hartford right here, and then assuming coming back and just staying in San Juan, I stay right in this hotel, and this place is really nice, and I like the location, and maybe rent a vehicle to be able to go out and explore. I don't know, but go to Palo Tropical next trip. Indeed, you look happy, and it's nice to see. Oh man, yeah, just all that. I mean, despite that, the sun was absolutely necessary, and just yeah, sitting on the beach and being like, I am here. I did the thing that I've wanted to do for so long. And despite all of those obstacles that got in my way to like really make me work through it and more or less earn being here. I did, and it feels really rewarding. And now I know how easy it is to use, because before any of this, I didn't have that flight pass for so long. I didn't use it because I didn't really fully understand it. So now I know how it works as well, and I'm more likely not going to renew it for another year. Just see what I can do, where I can go, what I can see, and that whole bug thing. My plan tonight, finish up here, is just continue taking it easy. My checkout time is 11, so I got to be out of here by then. I'm probably just gonna shoot right on over to the airport at that time, maybe even a little earlier than that, because I haven't gone through security here, so I don't quite know what to expect. Just in terms of length and everything, I don't know if they have clear here, etc., etc. But my return flight, this is the one big major difference is I am not flying back on Frontier, and mainly because there's no direct way for me to get back to Boston right now from here on Frontier. As while our starting flights from Boston to San Juan aren't running yet, that's not for another month, I think, another month or two. So I did contemplated doing another big route, jump to try to get myself back, and I'm pulled over for a bit, taking a flight from here back to uh, New York City, and doing it in New York, and then New York to Boston to be done with it. But I think I've done enough at this point. I think I've done enough right now, and with all of this, yeah, I don't want to be walking around New York glowing like a lobster. So I'm flying direct. I'm flying on Delta direct from here to Boston. I think I fly out like 12:30. I think I'll be back in Boston around 5, and then 3 to 4 hour drive home. So I'll be home by 10 p.m. tomorrow night. So yeah, and that will mark the end of this adventure. Not that bad. You need to go through one extra security screen for customs. Really? For Puerto Rico? It's an American territory, though. I mean, I know I'm not expecting regular security, but let's see. What's this here? I know how you feel, says HB. I felt the same way after my LA trip last year. Had that behind like 2 hours. And that's really the next thing is the big thing mulling over um, what to do leaving Raleigh was I've never been to the West Coast. And at this point, like I think geographically, uh, it's either Atlanta or Tampa. It's the furthest west I've ever been. Um, but ultimately, we're looping around through Puerto Rico, and I'm still glad this is what I decided. But I think whatever I'm doing next is gonna be the West Coast thing that I almost did this time, just to see a new ocean, calling all oceans, because it's there and because I can, and because adventure is fun. It's our turnaround, so we just talked about. It's not that bad. Oh, you read that for customs. That's a nice itinerary. Then pop into my stream to tell everyone you are home. I will. I absolutely will. They still get you for. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Smuggling coral and shit. There's no customs coming from Puerto Rico. It's mostly for environmental stuff. I see. I see. Next adventure is that in April. That's proving difficult. Oh yeah, for the eclipse. Yeah, dang. I want to go out there at some point. I still got my last. I still got my extra sticker on my luggage for my last trip. Does friendship go to Alaska? No, I don't think so. Um, no, I'm pretty sure they don't. But they also fly international, so that'd be a fun thing to explore. There's a bunch of places in Caribbean and Latin America they go to, and I've said 1,000 times. Which may end up being just something I did. The furthest they go is go to Costa Rica. I speak a little Spanish, but it could be a fun adventure. They do. They do. They fly to Anchorage. Was I just not looking there? Hold on. Fly from here. Hmm. Atlanta, Austin, Baltimore, Arkansas, Illinois, Massachusetts, New York, Iowa, South Carolina. That may be something they did at one point. They may have canned that, just like they don't fly to Vermont anymore. Arizona, Utah, California, Washington. Yeah, it's not in there. It's not on the booking page as being able to go to Alaska anymore. Yeah, I don't think that's. I think they may have canned that, which they do. They cancel flight routes all the time and add new ones. So yeah, that dated 2021. That would have absolutely been on this as an option if it was something. But for the stuff outside of the United States, they go to the Bahamas, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Jamaica, 3 places in Mexico. Oh, they do fly to Ponce, El Salvador, Saint Martin, and Saint Croix, and Saint Thomas. But yeah, Anchorage is not an option anymore. It's fine to allow from knowing the amount of crisis they did do anyway. I understood that. Digimon. Digimon. Just either word. Okay, it's not cause but inspection. Okay. At least hours before your flight departure, you have to go through the USDA inspection before you check in. Okay, but if you're not checking luggage, all I have is a personal item. They are not checking back. There's no need to go through the FDA line. Okay, so I plan to be there 2 hours early anyway. So, are you a side of beef? No, but I could be smuggling coral. apparently. Well, yeah. I'm gonna take it easy the rest of tonight. It's also crazy. There's a time zone change here. Um, but, wait, did it change? Yeah, it's 11:35 here.
Kristoff just shipped 3 bits, but Coral that kills people.
What, Carl? That kills people. Whoa, whoa. That's my least favorite thing to do. Eric's gotta be healed. Ugh. But yeah, if you haven't been able to tell, this has been an amazing trip, and this has been everything about it, even the plays, has ended up being worth it. Just yeah, and now I have a $70 plate voucher I have to use in the next 3 months, I think. So that will be put towards whatever next trip I have. That would pay for a direct flight back here from Hartford if I wanted to do that. Um, Pretty sure it would cover because I could have gone from Raleigh to San Francisco for under $70 if I remember correct. So
Whoa. Hurricane_Badger just cheered 4 bits. More like Eric Adventurer's Hill.
heck yeah, I'll take that. Um, but and then perhaps the next time around traveling with one of my cameras so that where I go, I can start building up my own just collection of B-roll stuff for content creation purposes for STS videos and whatnot. Which is always something I wanted to do, which is why I had bought a drone and a bunch of other stuff was to be able to just do my own footage and everything. For future music videos and such. And I had thought about using part of this trip to shoot footage for a video for an upcoming song that I want to record. I've been wanting like for the last month. I've got a collection of 5. I want to do a new EP. I've got 5 songs that I want to do, but with hey, remember when your boy was sick with strep and everything, and then the whole elbow problem? He couldn't freaking play the guitar, so I wasn't even able to get like a demo track recorded that I could just put in my ear to do some footage around. But that's okay. That's one that I needed some simplicity on this trip, so maybe that will be the theme of the next one is storyboard footage for the first single off the new album, which is a song about traveling, in a sense. So it would be appropriate. And to get a whole bunch of different sort of environments. Like it really kind of needs some desert highway in it. It needs some other stuff. It's a song that ended up being about my dad, so we'll see. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun, and again, now that I know how the flight pass works, to be able to use it to do stuff like this, again, to maybe turn it around and pay for itself somehow with content and everything, and also the fact that like if I do these trips and things, I can expense them on my taxes because I expense my STS stuff and some of my stuff as well. So stuff to think about. Also, you're gonna do an acoustic version of High in the Sky. Like, we'll see. We'll see. It is late here, so I'm an hour ahead of y'all. It is 11:40 for me. So gonna probably try to be out here around, I'd have to out till 11 But just to make sure the airport was sufficient time, I'm gonna check boarding pass for probably the millionth time to make sure. Uh, I'm not here. D. What's under F? Delta's under F. Fly Delta. Let's see. Oh, okay. Boarding at basically 1 o'clock, so 57. For some reason, I thought it was spooky. But if anybody wants to stalk my flight, because that's the only confirmation, it's flight DL1780. So that's my return flight if anybody wants to stalk me. Yeah, 12. Okay, so I could stretch it out. I could stretch it out and leave at 11. I may do like 10:30 though. Yeah, it's gonna be during the day, so I may have to wait a little longer for an Uber. But just make sure you don't go back to 1780. Great Scott! What is this flying machine this man appears on? Well, I'll do my best, and I'll let everybody know when I have arrived back to Boston, safe and sound, and then have to. Another one of the big expenses of this trip is going to be what my total parking cost in the economy garage, which economy garage in Boston, $32 a day. Fuck. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Ugh. I hope maybe I only have to pay for a partial day on Wednesday. We'll see. Like, yeah. And all the more reason to, like, do these flights out of Hartford if I can. Oh God. Yeah. But still, all things considered, it's still
Hey, everything's gonna be okay.
everything's gonna be okay.
Everything's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be fine.
Everything's gonna be okay.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Oh my God. I wish I knew what part of all this was making those effects. I wish I knew. Here's all about them hand gestures. I'm creating magic things. I don't know where they're coming from. That's what we do for New England. It's the Twitch app. But I'm not using the app. I'm using OBS. I'm using OBS on MacBook. Unless it's literally a brand new thing that they started doing and everyone can do it. Unless it's the fact that I'm also using. No. It's just my 14-inch MacBook Pro, but I am using my work issued iPhone as a webcam. My thought is that it's the phone that's doing these effects, but I don't know how. I don't know in what capacity. I like it though. I really like it. It rained. Oh, that was perfect. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and try and clip that. Maybe put that on. Maybe put that on TikTok. Anyway, um, but yeah, this has been an amazing adventure, and for those of you that were following along on Instagram or Facebook, I hope you enjoyed the ride. It was wild. Um, but yeah, and just I want to say thanks to all the lovely people in this community who have been encouraging and supportive of me wanting to get out here and do this stuff and being like, you can do it, go, go, go. Because that's also been very helpful because I am very much someone who gets gets his wheels stuck and loves to dream, but finds it really difficult to take those first steps to make it happen. And just what I've done the last 4 or 5 days is absolutely unreal. And it's proof that I can do it. And it's also proof that you can do it. While, yes, this was an expensive collection of.
Whoa. Merga Panda Booty just cheered 1 bit. Love you, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Love you too, Mayor Bear. You did this yourself. Ruts are easy to get into. Um, and yeah, and not everybody could afford to drop $500 on this flight pass to be able to fly in this capacity. And I feel really fortunate that I'm in a position where I can do this stuff. And I know not everybody can, but travel can be, it can be cheap if you're willing to be flexible and let the wind guide you where it may. And despite all the issues with Frontier, like it's a crazy good way to get around. Even without the pass, they, they run promos so often that you can fairly regularly get these flights for even cheaper than it would have been in the past. Because with the pass, you're paying taxes on what the full price would be. But with some of the promos, you can get like a $19 flight, which then you only have to pay taxes on $19 worth of flight, you see. So there's some out there where it would even, for me, make more sense to book using their promo rate than the the flight pass rate. So it may be worth just using one of your email accounts, even a spam email account or something, just to sign up for um, price alerts from Frontier, because they come through all the time. If you have an interest in travel and are within a reasonable distance to a place where Frontier will fly. It can be questionable and stressful, but at the end of the day, it's super cheap. Especially if you can pack a really light bag, like it's just a small messenger bag, like a lap, like I do, not have to worry about baggage or anything like that. It's a way to do it. A way to get out there and see stuff. But I'll stop shilling for Frontier. Like, god damn, that sucked. That sucks. That's donkey dick. That was terrible. I made it, and I'm buying them. So whatever. Then all this bare bones basic Delta flight back. It's a direct flight home. Could route through a bunch of other cities. I really could. But at this point, I'm ready to go home. And then I'll see. Again, I'll let you all know once I tally everything up what the grand total of this crazy 5 days worth of travel and adventure have ultimately cost. Just because I don't know, I think it's interesting. I like when there's a couple like travel YouTubers that I watch, like Jeb Brooks and a couple others. And what I like is when they actually disclose, like, this is what we did, this is what we paid, like in this we whether we used airline mile. I don't know. I like the disclosure of stuff like that. So, DC later this year, and I'll meet you there or do the best food place. That could be fun. Yeah, they fly to DC. All right, all right. We're coming up on midnight for me. It's 11 for you, but it's midnight for me. So I'm still way indexed to the sleep dragon. So I'm gonna try to get a good rest tonight, despite this damn sunburn. So Tom just started up, so we will raid over Tom, and I'll jump on my phone and keep the chat going for a little bit while I get ready for bed. And sleep eel blast, indeed. But again, yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Just for being awesome, for being such a great community, and for all your support. Without the encouragement and everything, it would be hard to be here where I am right now, having done what I did. So you're all awesome. Couldn't said it better myself. So let's. Are you a vampire? What? All right, we're gonna read at the top now. So, but I will let you know when I get there safe. But for now, I'm just gonna wish you so long and good night. So long and good night. Eric, the fireworks just set off. Okay, fireworks. So long and good night.
Jen, but yo, my mind was lost today. On the mountain in general. Fuck. I took my mom skiing, and this was the first time she's been skiing in 25 years. I would go. So, he's a top. He's a B. HB. Wait, you was a H B. I don't know the HB. OMP. The top. Tom B. Oh, the fun of the skiing was so amused right now here when vacation down to the land. Oh, a sunbird and